Right, guys. I'm sort of. I have got so much stuff going on right now. I am so busy. So, firstly, I have to apologise because I've been bigging up videos and I've been bigging up things that I'm going to do, and not really been forthcoming with the stuff. At the moment, I've been. If you read my Twitter, I've been faffing about like a fool with the SD card reader for Dreamcast. I've turned my light on because I've got it in just the perfect sweet spot at the moment, and I cannot be bothered to move it. But that's the SD card reader in place. I'm using a 32 gig high capacity card, which I got from Maplin's, and it's as straightforward as that. What you have is what you get with what you get off the internet. When you buy it, is the bootloader disk image. So I've bent that, so that goes in. It loads pretty straightforwardly. So and apparently it uses little in the way of the drives, like read and write, movement, whatever. It basically doesn't damage the drive, maybe as a normal copied disc might. So you power it up. Sorry guys, unplug that. You power it up and you have the following screen. And here's Dream Shell. It gives you the options which intrigue me greatly to load from the SD card, which obviously we've got in the back there. Load from a hard drive. So that looks interesting. It's auto booted to the SD card, and what we have here is the shell. From my understanding of it, it is keyboard and mouse compatible, although I can't bother to go get those at the moment. The big thing for me was being able to play games off the SD card. I've been told, and I've had it drummed into me, that the games are what they are. Nothing, they don't work superbly. And some people have compared them to running emulators on low spec machines in terms of their quality. Meh is what I said to that. At the end of the day, the games that I want to play on here are massive games in that sense, so it's nothing to worry about from my point of view. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm browsing the SD card, and you'll notice that there is a folder called ISO. I've only put a few bits and pieces on as a sort of test. So you've got a mixture of retail games and homebrew games of sorts. I haven't put a huge amount on there at the moment. Oh, well, I haven't. I've got 32 gigs. I haven't put a huge amount on there at the moment simply because I think these will be more than enough to keep me going for the time being. I haven't tried this game yet, so let's try this game. Okay, so what this is doing now is it's not loading off the disc, and I can even prove that by doing this. You'll notice that the game still plays. It doesn't jump out back into the main screen anymore. I apologise for the lack of sound, guys. I'm doing it through my headphones. I haven't managed to get any external speakers yet, so I'm just using my headphones. As you can see, guys, this is Namco Museum, and this particular version of the game, of the museum, obviously has some nice games on there, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, that kind of thing. However, it doesn't have a massive load thing on it. The disc itself it doesn't use up that much space on the disc. So when the game was loading and stuff like that, it basically loads the title screen and a couple of other bits, and that's it. So this actually runs, from what I've been told, although I'll double check this now, from what I've been told is this runs quite well. Because the speed is limited in terms of how the information is loaded onto the Dreamcast, it's only limited to like 1 megabit or something per second or something like that. Basically what that translates to in game is if there's any kind of in-game loading or any kind of loading in the midst of a game, it makes the game stutter, the sound judder and stop, and you could compare the experience to running an emulator on a low-end machine. Personally, I don't care. I can play these games on my Dreamcast without the need of ramming loads of discs in, putting boot discs in, various other things. I can drop these games on now without too much hardship, and thankfully, after my initial troubles, it's now working. Just to give you some kind of indication as to the game. You probably won't see it very well, the refresh rate won't be as good, but it runs as smooth as anything. Some people have said that the emulators that have been written for the Dreamcast run even better through SD interface. I don't understand how that works, but there you go. In terms of loading retail games, meh, sort of thing. It is what it is. Some of the more intensive games where there's a lot of loading and there's a lot of loading during gameplay, you'll find that there's a lot of stuttering and the speed of it is reduced. There are some games that load in things like Street Fighter Alpha 3, Marvel vs. Capcom, this kind of thing. They run reasonably well. There's occasional stutters here and there, but nothing ridiculous. And I haven't gone through every single thing in my I haven't gone through every single game that I've got on the SD card at the moment. But in terms of what it's doing for me, it's bloody great. The added bonus to that is that I can drop the images directly onto the SD card now, on top of which I can also play GD-ROMs, GD-ROM rips. What that means is, well, it's kind of an oxymoron because it's not a rip. Basically, I can play full versions of the games, so I don't need to use boot discs or rip or have anything ripped or anything downsampled in terms of quality. So that's a bonus. However, the downside to that is obviously you get this kind of stuttery thing going on. To me, not a problem. So there you go, guys. That's Pac-Man running on the Namco Museum, which is in turn running off the SD card reader for Dreamcast. Again, guys, just to put you in the picture, there is nothing running in terms of discs. It is all off the SD card, and I'm running the whole thing off my VGA box. So there you go, guys. Finally, after some annoyances, I've managed to get that working. I've yet to unpack the mystic parcel that has arrived a few moments ago, well, a few hours ago. My intention is to do a proper unboxing. I'm not going to unbox it until until we're all unboxing it. Sort of. I want to do it with everyone present, if that makes any sense. Because to me, it's going to be a pretty magical thing. Hopefully. So potentially that could be the best thing ever, or potentially it could be a very depressing time for me. So we'll see. So I'm going to unbox that hopefully tonight. And yeah, there you go. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot for watching this, hopefully, and speak to you soon on the next video.